Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. My name is Megan and I am the witch here around the cauldron. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I post a new video. In today's video, we're going to talk about ritual baths, and I'm going to walk you through my personal step-by-step instructions for creating a ritual bath for almost any purpose. So this video came about because someone asked me about creating ritual baths, so I figured, why the heck not? Let me walk you through my personal process for creating a ritual bath. So this step-by-step process consists of 5 steps. These are purpose, ingredients, visualization, putting it together, and post-ritual care. If you don't have a bath, that's no problem. I actually already have a video on how to have a ritual bath without a bathtub. So if you want to watch that video after you watch this one, or vice versa, you can find that linked up here or in the description below. So step 1 is finding the purpose of your ritual bath. Now, I don't think a ritual bath can be used for just about any spell, but there are several things that a ritual bath is going to be good for. I have 4 listed here that we can kind of go through today. These are cleansing, banishing, trance, and self-love. So it's really important before you even start gathering ingredients or coming up with incantations or visualizations to figure out why you're doing the spell in the first place. Do you feel kind of spiritually gross? Do you have some residual energy that you need to get rid of? Do you need to ground and center yourself? I know there are some people who ground a lot better with water than with the earth element. Do you need to banish something? Do you feel like someone has cursed you, or you've picked up the evil eye, or some sort of residual energy or something like that? Do you want some self-love? Do you feel like you need to take better care of yourself? Or even for trance work. Trance work is a little tricky when it comes to doing a ritual bath for it, in my opinion, because I'm all about safety, and sometimes trance work in the bathtub is not the best idea because water and trance and going under the water. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a second. I don't have a lot of experience with trance work. It's something that I'm still kind of dipping my toes into. I find it very difficult. So what I'm going to cover with ritual baths for trance work are going to be very basic and surface level understanding of it. So step 1 for crafting a ritual bath is to figure out your purpose. Identify a problem that you have, or something that you would like to solve, or something that you want to bring into your life, and ta-da, you have your purpose for your ritual bath. My favorite kinds of ritual baths, when I do them, are baths for cleansing and baths for self-love. Step 2 of crafting your ritual bath is gathering your ingredients and figuring out your correspondences. Now, obviously, I have to make mention here that you need to be entirely sure that the ingredients you're using for your ritual bath are skin safe, or are water safe even. There are a lot of things out there that are natural, but just because they're natural doesn't mean they're safe. Cat Borealis on Instagram did an Instagram live or reel or something where they showed what happens if you put pyrite in water. You put pyrite in water, you get sulfuric acid. Don't put pyrite in your ritual bath, okay? Not a good idea. Obviously, you want to have safety in mind when you're creating these ritual baths. If you have any skin sensitivities or allergies, be mindful of those as you choose your ingredients. Don't put anything in water that doesn't belong in water, but you also need to make sure that what you're using in your ritual bath is safe for your home. So I touched on this in my previous video on ritual baths without a bathtub. This is if you have a septic tank instead of being connected to like city or county sewer systems. You need to be a little more careful about what you put down your drain, because a septic tank is just a big concrete tank that's somewhere in your yard that holds all of your waste and wastewater. So anything you put down your drain is going to go into the septic tank. Usually you want to avoid things like oils for sure, or like copious amounts of oils. A little bit of oil is not going to be a huge deal unless you're doing it a little bit every single day. That little bit adds up. Check to see if you're on septic. Check to make sure that your ingredients are going to be safe for yourself, for the water, and for your sewer system, whatever that is. I also want to mention a little bit of UPG or personal practice of mine when it comes to the temperature of your water. There is a difference between taking a bath with cold water and taking a bath with warm water. For me, anytime I am doing a cleansing or a banishing with a spiritual bath or a ritual bath, the water has to be cold because it's kind of like a shock to the system. It's not something that you want to sit and soak in. The process is uncomfortable. The process of removing these energies and any sort of curse or the evil eye, removing that from you in a ritual bath, the water should be cold. Any other time, the water can be warm. Warm water promotes soaking, it promotes softening of the skin, and it promotes just a general openness with your energy as you are performing this ritual bath. Now, of course, take it or leave it. That's totally up to you. That is my personal practice when it comes to water temperature and ritual bath. You may believe the same, you may believe different. As always, follow your own particular practice when it comes to that. Now, some other ingredients that you can use in your ritual bath are going to go in the water. Some can be burned and some can be set next to the bathtub or held or, I don't know, kept around you during your bath. So you can add herbs to your bath. You can do this by either sprinkling the herbs directly into the water, or you can take like a cheesecloth or a reusable tea bag, or even like nylon and tying it so that nothing comes out. Put all of your herbs and ingredients in there and put it in the bathtub. So essentially you're making like a ritual bath tea bag. But it works the same way, in my opinion. Do that with your herbs. I find that that's easier when it comes to doing a ritual bath, because if you just sprinkle things in the bathtub and set like flowers or flower petals or anything on top or in the water, that's a mess to clean up. And the last thing that I want to do after taking a ritual bath, especially if it's one for cleansing or self-love, is to clean up a giant mess. Unless I'm only using flower petals on the top of the water, I will generally opt for something that's easier to clean up and easier to like compost if I didn't use any oils. You can also choose corresponding incense, corresponding crystals, corresponding oils. Make your own spell oil ahead of time that you add to your bath water. That does two things. It brings the correspondence of the spell oil into your bath water, but the oils generally tend to feel really nice on the skin. And then you've got a 2-for-1. You've got your ritual bath and you've got skincare. You can also bring in the energy of different candles. Obviously, don't put your candles in the water, especially if you're going to be soaking in the water. But put candles around the bathroom, around the bathtub if it's safe to do so. This really helps add to the environment and the aesthetic, the ambiance. That's the word I was looking for. It really helps add to the spell and the ambiance of the spell as you're doing it. It helps you get into the right sort of headspace. And you can use scented candles if you want to bring a specific scent into your ritual. You can use unscented candles, dress the candles with spell oils or herbs or what have you, and burn those candles as you soak in your ritual bath. You can also play music. Music is a great addition to any spell or ritual that you're doing, especially if the song or the lyrics or the beat or whatever contributes to the ritual in whatever way. So you can choose a song that gives you cleansing feelings, one that helps you really visualize cleansing and getting rid of negative energy. You can use a song that makes you really feel happy and upbeat and like in love with yourself. Music adds so much to spells and rituals, and I think it's really downplayed a lot when we talk about different things that we can do for our spell work. And then the last thing that I'll talk about here really quick as far as ingredients and correspondences go are the usual. So pick a moon phase, pick a zodiac sign, pick a time of day, pick the specific day, pick a month or what have you. Bring those correspondences in for your ritual bath to give an extra boost to the magic that you're doing. Step number 3 is choosing your incantation and your visualization. Now, you don't have to say anything when you do your ritual bath. You don't have to say anything when you're setting up. You don't have to chant. There can be no words if that's what you want. Some people work really well with chants, while other people prefer to work with feelings and visualizations instead. So whichever one works for you, go ahead and do that. For me personally, sometimes I'll say a chant, or I will ask the spirit of the plant or the ingredient that I'm using to help me in my ritual as I'm placing it in the bath or wherever it needs to go. Other times I don't, and it really depends on my mood and what the ritual bath is for. The next part of this is your intent. Visualizing your intent. You can do this at the beginning, you can do this as you're getting into the bath, and you should definitely do this while you're in the bath. Focus on your intent, visualize what it is that you're trying to do, and really let the magic do its work. Sometimes you can visualize the whole process from start to finish. So if you're trying to boost your confidence, for example, you can visualize where you are now, the steps that you take along the way, and where you want to be. Sometimes it doesn't work like that for some people, and that's fine. You can visualize the end goal. What do you want? Where do you want to be after this ritual bath is over? What path do you want to be on after this ritual bath is over? It's really important to have your intent in mind as you're doing this ritual bath, because otherwise it's very possible that you get scattered while you're soaking in the bath, and focusing your intent is one of the ways that the magic does its work. If you don't know what you want, you can't direct the energy and make the spell or the ritual do what you want it to do, because you don't know what you want. And then you're gonna wanna figure out how long to stay in the ritual bath. Outside of ritual baths for cleansing and banishing, my personal sweet spot is between 10 and 15 minutes. This really gives me time to focus and concentrate on my intention and to work with the flow of energy to really push it to where I want it to go, to direct the energy. Anything longer than that and I start to either lose focus or my ADHD brain takes over and I can't concentrate for anything. Anything less than that and I feel like it's not enough time for me to really get into the right headspace and let the ritual do its work. Now, if you are cleansing or banishing and you're using cold water, obviously, please don't soak in cold water for longer than you can handle. For me, that would be anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. 10 minutes is pushing it. Get in, be uncomfortable, put the water all over you, put the herbs all over you, use a salt scrub if you have to, or if you want to. And then you're gonna want to like rinse off when you're done. So finding the sweet spot for your ritual bath length is going to be personal. Obviously, you know what you can handle and you know where that sweet spot is for yourself. Step number 4 is going to be putting it all together. Create your sacred space in whatever method you choose. This would be the time to light your candles, light your incense, play your music, get the atmosphere set up, dim the lights if you want to, or keep them blaring if you prefer it that way. Then you're going to add your ingredients to the bath. And this would be the point in time where you either say your chant or spell or incantation, ask the plant allies or allies in general for their help in your ritual, or just focus on your visualization and your intent as you're getting your bath ready. Then, obviously, you're gonna wanna get in the bath. How your bath goes is gonna depend on your intent. And I have a couple tips for the 4 things that I talked about at the beginning for self-confidence, cleansing, banishing, and trance. We'll talk about those in a second. Use your chant, use your visualization, use any extra tools that you have. I mentioned a salt scrub for cleansing. You can use a sugar scrub for self-love, spell oils, nice scented soap, whatever tools you have at your disposal for this ritual bath, use them as you bathe. So if you're doing a banishing ritual bath, this bath is not going to last very long. You get in cold water, as cold as you can stand it, soak for a few minutes, scrub, say a chant, use your visualizations and your intention. I want to say like no more than 5 minutes for this type of thing because you don't want to stay in the cold water for too long. When you're done, you empty the water, drain the water, cleanse yourself after you're done, and then rinse off with warm water. Don't let the ritual bath sit on you. You need to wash it away. If you're performing a ritual bath for cleansing, you're gonna want to get in the water. It can be cold, it can be warm. It really depends on what you're cleansing yourself of. If it's just like standard cleansing, warm water I think would be okay. If you feel like you need some extra oomph, then cold water, I would go with cold water. For this, the steps are really simple. You're going to get in, soak for your allotted amount of time, cleanse the body and clean the body, and then rinse off when you're done. Same thing as the banishing. You don't want to leave that ritual bath on you. You want to cleanse it off and really start fresh. For trance work, my safe bath tips are going to be don't do it alone. Not necessarily like don't be in the bathtub by yourself, or don't be in the room by yourself. But make sure that someone knows what you're doing so that you can have a safe bath, because water is water and you can drown in 2 inches of water. So we always want to be careful when we're performing these ritual baths, especially if we're going to be in some sort of trance. So set the atmosphere, get in the tub with your ingredients, whatever steps you take for a trance, enjoy your trance, and then get out. And the last one is going to be a bath for self-love. If you are bathing for self-love, you want your water to be warm as you are comfortable with, and not saying like your water has to be as hot as you can get it, but you want it to be a comfortable sort of warm for you. You don't want it to be something that you don't want to get into, right? You want the temperature to be just right, like Goldilocks. It needs to be just right. So you're gonna soak in the bath, and you're gonna have your ingredients, and you're gonna have your ritual tools, whatever implementations you brought with you into the bath to embody self-love, whether that be a nice scented candle or nice scented soaps or some sort of bell oil to add to the bath for self-love and like relaxing muscles or whatever it is you need to do. You may want to say some positive affirmations and hold some positive visualizations, like I gave with the example of self-confidence. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? See the steps in between and the steps that you have to take to get there, but also ultimately see your end goal. Depending on your self-love ritual and what that looks like for you, don't be afraid to mix in a little bit of self-pleasure. When you're done with your ritual bath, just get out, dry off, and then we're gonna go into our post-ritual care. Step 5 is our post-ritual care. This is gonna look different for everyone, and feel free to take as many liberties with post-ritual care as you want. Obviously, the first thing that comes to my mind is lotions and potions, because you just got out of soaking in the bath. So you want to make sure that your skin is nice and soft and moisturized. You can take this a step further and using a charmed lotion or sigils drawn on your skin with lotion, rubbing them in to activate the sigil. So your post-ritual care is going to be just as magical as your ritual bath. You may even want to do some divination afterwards to check in with yourself. How did the ritual go? How do you feel? Is there anything that you missed? Anything else that you might need to do? Then bring in the journaling. Journal about your ritual experience. Journal about your meditation and your visualizations. How did this ritual make you feel? Is there anything that you felt was missing? Is there anything that you need to add? Do you feel like the ritual was a success? If you need help with journaling, I got you covered. I have a whole video on journaling in a magical context. You can find that video up here or linked in the description below. And then if your ritual bath was for anything like cleansing or purification or banishing, make sure you do your protections afterwards, whatever these protections are for you. Wear your amulets, do your wards, use a shielding spray, whatever it is. Make sure that you're adding on that layer of protection. You don't want to have to do another ritual bath in a couple of days because you forgot to use your protection. Protection is important. So those are my 5 steps for creating a ritual bath. These are steps that I personally take whenever I'm crafting one for myself. So I hope they're helpful for you. I hope they give you some inspiration. Maybe you learned something new. If you have any tips for ritual baths of your own, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We're all here to learn from each other and bounce ideas off of each other. So any tips that you have, pop them in the comments, and let's help support one another with crafting ritual baths. Everybody should be able to benefit from a ritual bath experience. And remember, if you don't have a bathtub or you can't use a bathtub for whatever reason, there are alternatives for ritual baths. You can find that video up here or linked in the description below. Check that out if you need to. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Ring the bell for notifications so you can be notified of when I post a new video. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Check out my membership program where you can join for as little as $2 a month and get all kinds of perks and exclusive content. Join the forum if you want to join the forum, a group of like-minded individuals to talk about all things witchcraft, paganism, and just general life as a magical person. You can find all of those links in the description below. Thank you so much to all of my current members for helping to support the channel and the work that I do, and I will catch you back here next time.